the Force, Luke.
Sometimes truth isn't good enough.
I feel the need for speed.
Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes!
Because it's their time. Their time. Up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here.
It's our time to go get another cup of coffee down here, because this week on Winter Wolf's Den's FrostCast, you guys are getting a tired wolf as the new job started this week, and I'm up at the ass crack every day. But we're still going to come through as many Wednesdays as we can, because it's what we've set out to do. So welcome back, everybody. Happy to be here. Lots to talk about. We got Emmy talk, not something we usually do, because a lot of the crap we watch doesn't usually wind up on the Emmys, does it, King?
No, it really doesn't.
Ape gets the Winter Wolf salute. There we are. It can be brutal. I mean, you've been hanging out for a couple hours, Jimmy. It was 9 p.m. Eastern. Welcome back. Love you. Love being here. We got Star Wars stuff. We got a big MCU rumor. Caught it on Doomcock's channel. Wanted to just pick Kingsy's brain on it, because he's got the comic book knowledge on those kind of Avengers stories. We got Robert Redford, sadly passing. Made it to 89 though. 89's good. 89's a good number. You know, I was this many years old when I learned that it's called the Sundance Film Festival, because he was Sundance in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Did not know that. Never put those together. Happens. That happens. And then I got Alien Earth. I got a lot of stuff to say about Alien Earth, man. Dude, it just when you think stupid shows can't get dumber, you get Alien Earth episode 7. And dude, I honestly at this point wonder if Noah Hawley's just having a laugh. Like, is he just taking the piss? Like, did they owe him money and didn't pay him for something else, and so now he's just acting out and he co-wrote this piece of absolute cinematic garbage? Because that's where I'm at with this show. I can't I can't see how a group of functional adults that don't have near like life-ending brain injuries sat down in a room, storyboarded this idea, and this is the best they could do. It's astonishing to me how bad this show is now, especially after episode 7, where Emergence is the title. They could have just called it Contrivance, because nothing happens in this episode that logically connects from A to B to C without you just absolutely shutting off the logic center of your brain. Okay. So we can get into that. Where do you want to go first on it? Because I feel like lately we know the alien talk's going to take a while. Do we want to try? Do you want to talk about Robert Redford first? Do you want to talk about Andor and the Emmys things first? What do you want to do? You call it.
Well, see, I don't think we need to really talk much about this episode. We just hit it and then we move it on. I mean, they've heard us. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you hate it. It matters. Your point ain't going to change, and it's not going to change the viewpoint of other people. All we're going to do, it might. I mean, it was a pretty bad episode.
Oh my god, dude! Even reading the recap was painful. Where I went to a couple different sites, because I don't usually I have it in me to rewatch the episode. I fast forward, but I like to just be reminded of the big scenes. Leave Jimmy up there for a minute. I couldn't even do it this week. I didn't have the gumption in me today to even fast forward through Hulu. So I went on I just Google searched Alien Earth episode 7 recap. And I was just looking at specifically bullet points, because I just wanted to see like the 7 things that happened in the thankfully 40-minute episode. I think it was the shortest one of the run, and that helped a little bit. But I was like, dude, I can't rewatch this. Hey, remember Starship Troopers, how the bugs are super chill and misunderstood? Exactly. These guys need that mentality of the only good bug is a dead bug, and it's sorely missing here. Sorely, because now we got pet Xenos. You get that, everybody? You get that out there, everybody? We got pet Xenos.
It's not pet. She knows how to speak its language, so it sees her as one.
Dude, if you're not pet, exterminates a group of like elite Yutani Navy SEALs, and then you pat it on the head, and then you speak its language, it's a pet. Sorry.
She didn't pet it. She wanted to touch it, since they could only do the glass. I mean, wouldn't you, if you had the opportunity, wouldn't you want to feel what it feels like?
Nope. A Xeno? No, I'm good. I'm good.
I would.
I like, slimy rubber dildos, probably what that feels like. I'm guessing. I can go on a limb. Pape says I can't wait till the eyeball gets a crack. Boy, get down, listen, Pape. It's like you were listening in early. Did we go live accidentally? Because the Oracle was just talking about the poll. Maybe we could bring up the poll. That's a good idea.
Yep. Let's drop the poll in the chat.
Kingsley can talk about the poll, but we were talking about that as an idea. I was kind of like drifting. I was trying to put together my thoughts on it. And I was like, well, it's got to be the eyeball, right? That's my vote. It doesn't need to be a secret ballot here.
I think they're going to throw my vision is, since he's mad what Arthur did by turning off their tracking, he's going to throw the wife in there, trying to get into the female, and they're going to have a conversation.
All right. That could work. But he also mentioned like trying to put it in somebody that was low IQ. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to get that failed scene first, and then maybe he doubles down and goes to the wife. That I could see that.
No, he mentioned that. So the other day I went and said, I'll make a list. He's like, wait a minute, I know perfect who we're going to put it in.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He did say that. So they're going to skip that altogether.
Yeah.
Good point. All right. So what do we got? What are the poll options here? Because I'm not even.
All right. So the poll says, how should they end Boy Cavalier? Option 1, Xenomorph. 2, The Fly. 3, hijacked by eyeball/sheep. Probably. Or 4, sucked up by the plant.
Oh, because we still haven't seen that in action, have we?
No.
You know what? In my head, right? This show is blurred in a way where now I keep thinking to myself that the flies, because we saw the nest they were in, that they came out of the plant thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, because that had its own little appendage tentacle thing that opens up like it's a cobra about to sting you, something like that. So yeah, that's a whole different bug. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I hope so. And then again, I hope he gets Beastmastered. I hope it just like half of a dissolved skeleton just comes dropping out of it. I think that'd be gross.
Like just thrown in a gelatinous cube from D&D.
Yeah. He's all just like, and then plop, wet skeleton. That'd be dope. Please, because he needs it, dude. This character went from just like douche knuckle canoe to outright, I just can't stand this dude and want to punch him in the face. It was the crawl on the conference table nonsense with the Yutani arbitration. It's just dumb. I can't. Did anybody, if you want to comment in the chat, anybody that shows up and sees the comments, so the worst scene from the episode, please lay it on me, because I think there's like 10 different awful scenes here.
I want to go with the one that you sent me in the chat last night, in our private chat. We were there, and he was like, and they're running late, yet they have time to build a canoe and pull this guy out into the water.
Now I've since had time to go back and name that scene. I'm calling it Tuna Raft Men, because I don't understand how we're on a time phase. There are enemy Navy SEALs coming to claim this body. They stopped and built a raft out of like cut bamboo that's like leather lashed together and like fairly uniform. Like it looked good. It looked like the raft Tom fucking Hanks made in Castaway. And I'm saying to myself, there's an easy way to have this scene. And you know what it is? You use one of those pointless throwaway scenes from episode 1 where these two are goofing around and they just have that raft. That's it. Yeah. It's that simple. And then fucking Smee goes, wait, I know how we can get him there. And they fucking use the raft that they had. But you know what the problem there is too, King? This show arbitrarily decides when they're android synths with superpowers and when they're not. Slightly didn't need help carrying this dude's body. They're robots. Yeah. They're super fast. They're super strong. You didn't need help at all. Either of you dipshits.
Because we see that
unless
later.
The boys don't have the power. I don't know.
We see that later with Nibs ripping the jaw off of a person.
Dude, she Mortal Kombated that dude's face, right? Yeah. And then in the rest of that terribly edited scene that looked like I had a crack at it in like Filmora 15, he bitch pimp slaps one dude into the water or one chick.
Yep.
And while that fight's going on, Wendy's fighting Siberian security guard with the red hair
and having an issue with it.
And having an issue with her. This chick takes like 3 hits from Wendy, who decapitated an alien with a paper cutter and survives. And I'm like, I don't understand the power levels here. Like, what does all this stuff mean?
I think
how do we
one
get here?
hit is equal to 17 kittens.
Dude, it must be. But what's the ratio of unicorns and leprechauns?
But a backhand is a 17-mile-per-hour car hitting you over a bridge.
Right. Dude, which could kill you, right? So I'm guessing whoever took that hit into the water is just dead. So we've got at least 2 scored fatalities in that scene. Dude lost the jaw, is dead. That's a wrap, right?
Yeah.
The chick that got backhanded in, that's a wrap. Nibs is dead because fucking cuck brother Hermit finally fires a gun, right?
And shoots Nibs.
And shoots Nibs because violent, broken robot psychopath, by the way, right? Wendy is acting very adult for her age as well and gets butthurt that her brother shot Nibs, who she just watched rip someone's jaw off. I can't do it. I can't.
I can understand why she would be upset that because Nibs, and they hinted at this in an earlier scene. So it was a little setup and payoff. You know, you like that. Where like, I can't leave without them.
Right.
Because he's like, would you leave me behind? He's like, no. Right. He's like, I can't leave them behind because they're her new brothers and sisters. So Nibs was
okay. Then what about the boys? Did you even try to get them? Did you
couldn't find them? No,
that's good. Good. Jimmy says, absolutely, why would the girl boss tell the Ginger about stuff they just wiped? It's kind of evil. And dude, and even on top of that, so when they revisit Nibs with that in the beginning of this episode, she's like, oh yeah, it's messed up what they did to your mind. She's like, I don't know. You didn't take anything from me. I have everything. I'm like, no, they objectively, quantitatively, monstrably remove parts of your memory because you did not remember what anybody was talking about.
Yep.
Like, that's all well and cute, but no, they cooked your brain. Can we talk about Wendy? Because the other message I sent you was she's now worse than Riri Williams. She's a bigger piece of shit than Riri Williams. This chick utilized her super synth android powers to set the Xeno loose in the secure lab to cause the diversion so they could escape, right?
Yes.
Instantly, it kills 6 people. The cleaners.
Cleaners. There was no one in there important. They're red shirts.
Right. So she does that. They get outside when security's in this episode. They got security on the payroll. Did you notice that shit? Security's in full force.
They had some budget for extras in this episode.
I don't get it. So they're about to get captured by Yutani Team B, right? She calls them the Xenos, and Xeno singular. Xeno smokes the 10 of them. No shots fired. 0. Zilch.
No.
If this was Gorman's Marine, Vasquez is shouting, let's rock, and that Xeno is cooked. And they made it a point to show you.
Actually, they did shoot while it was falling on them.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The one guy that jumped.
Yep.
Good call. Right. But even still, nobody else is shooting. I'm just like, I can't fucking do this thing. Jimmy, don't get me started on the life cycle. I can't.
That was mine. I made that comment. Stupid. I'm like, didn't it take a lot longer for the other xenomorph to grow inside the lung? Now, of course, Oracle brought up a good point. It was like maybe because it was just the lung and it didn't have all the other stuff to feed off of. But still, that bad boy went from face hugger to chest popping in like faster than you could make a Pop-Tart in a toaster. He's coming out the chest.
Jimmy, the life cycle of these things is beyond. I can't do it anymore. The life cycle of a Xeno is now whatever your particular plot needs it to be, and that's god awful stupid because it's never needed to plot. I forgot to get the meme. I got busy this week with the new work. The life cycle is not even the worst part of the thing. The worst part of Wendy, because I'm not done with beating this Riri Williams horse yet, right? So we know that this chick can like get into computer systems with a touch. We've seen her do it. She did it in this episode to release the Xeno. She couldn't have put her hand on the screen or just activated the fire alarm to cause the fucking diversion. She had to get the cleaning crew killed. Dude, that's bigger piece of shit than Ironheart. Like Ironheart's just kind of a selfish douche, but she didn't actively murder anybody. The one guy she didn't rescue was trying to kill her. I'll grace her half of that. Hey, she's not a superhero, but like she was trying to kill her. Right. She gave him the Batman Begins Ra's al Ghul
Batman line too.
I don't have to save you. Right. Exactly. You know, but like this chick, she's like, oh, dude, we got to get out of here. The exit's over there. Okay. Whoop. Open the gate. Xeno out. Nobody thought to override that shit. They couldn't secure the bug into the one room it was in. Boy Cavalier's over here watching the sheep take a shit. We'll talk about that because again, the eyeball's the most interesting thing about this fucking show. Now it's more interesting. You know, like I can't with the show. It's just too dumb. I don't like Wendy. The lost kids are all stupid.
Well, they're most of them are dead now.
But dude, how cool would it have been, really, if when Slightly shows up and Morrow's team comes up out of the water looking like a bunch of badasses? That was pretty cool. They gave you the old Navy commercial, the Navy SEALs coming out of the water, right? And he's like, you brought me an empty corpse, and slightly says something, and then Morrow's just like, blah, blah. Done.
Yep. Done.
Oh, dude, the fucking balls on that guy.
Where he goes, what happened to my
Huge.
mother? Same thing that's about to happen to you.
Blah, blah. The same thing that just happened to Smee. Blah. I'm telling you. Don't even stop to reload. Let's start losing characters here. Right. But Morrow, we were talking about the Morrow situation, and we're like, yes, it's because people see people like, dude, it's a show written by edgy young adults who are not in a position to have the life experience to write anything. And I don't know, not write anything like this. They think it's edgy. They think they're being clever. None of it works, and it all really does come across as like you're trying too hard, and you really want to pat yourselves on the back, like, look at us, we wrote in the Alien verse, and you haven't. This isn't Alien. It's not. No one in 5 years is talking about this show. I don't care if it's getting a season 2. Doesn't matter to me. Not remotely.
That means they're not going to nuke the island.
They're nuking the island. Dude,
They're
because
not gonna nuke the island.
dude, I'm telling you, the only reason they captured Morrow is so his ass can activate the nuclear failsafe. I'm telling you, it's going there. It's absolutely going there. And hopefully that somehow gets them out of the corner of, okay, so did they know about the Xeno for Alien or not? They have to, because somewhere in Weyland Yutani headquarters is the data. Morrow gave it to him.
We've hammered that one out, though.
Yeah.
It could just be time and distance. So that one probably is the explanation they'll use for that. But other than that, yeah, people have this. They have cameras everywhere. So the Xenomorph was seen in cameras in that apartment building.
God almighty. I can't eat. It's just like these writers just don't understand how like building security works, how like IT works, how cybersecurity works. We know that they try to show us there's a surveillance network because we saw Kirsch watching slightly kind of, fall under Morrow's blackmail influence situation. And he lets that happen because he's going to draw him and, spring the trap on him or whatever. But then the minute it becomes inconvenient to have cameras, nobody talks about them. Nobody uses them. It's the same thing with security. Like we were just memeing on a minute ago, like they put security on the payroll. There were 3 separate shots in this episode where a security patrol would walk by and like the good guys would poke their head out behind them. Oh man, we just missed the patrol. Let's go. It's like fucking Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo shit with xenomorphs, but it's not anywhere near as charming, as funny, or as intelligently written.
Roshady.
Dude, I've been trying, Jimmy. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I wish I did, because I think it's still, we had the Oracle. If you weren't here last week, late, because I think we did like a numbers check late on it. We know it's what's it, 7.5, 8 on Metacritic, and the Rotten Tomatoes had taken a little bit of a dip from like 90 to like it's like mid 70s when we looked last week, I think. So I thought some of that new show Sheen had kind of glossed off a little bit.
So IMDb has it a 7.6 out of 10 with 42,000 ratings as a series as a whole. Okay. It is the number 3 thing on the popularity of IMDb, people searching.
Yeah.
And where's the Metacritic score?
Yeah, that's the one Jimmy just mentioned was Metacritic specifically. But we looked at those 3. Those are the 3 we usually talk about when we dip into ratings. It's baffling on a level where I feel like people want different things, and this is cool. Like this is fine. If you want a show that's easily accessible and you get a little Xeno blood and gore, every 3rd episode, because you can't even bank on that, then fine. This is the show for you, right? Pape says a lot of the sites I read overlook flaws you guys point out, but see, the King and I point out the kind of flaws that break a show from the ground up. Like, we get you have to suspend disbelief. Fiction doesn't exist, to be fair, without that.
It doesn't.
It can't. And again, Kingsley will always tell you our policy on the channel for adaptations is
adaptations are hard.
So right. So when we get to something that's going from book to movie, we can overlook things, and we'll even give you.
This is original screenplay, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out all the different ways you can allow for things to not be perfect. And the other thing we do, because we just did this, if you guys haven't seen our review on The Long Walk, we both really like the movie. there were things in the movie that we were like, there's no way they did X. But when you do all these other things right for like an hour and a half, we give you a couple of tokens you can burn as the filmmaker on some shit that doesn't make sense. Guns that don't need to be reloaded. You walking away from a thermonuclear detonation that you were ground zero. Like shit like that. You can earn me being like, all right, I see what you did there. But you can't open with fire in space. You can't. And this show has basically been fire in space since like, I think episode 2.
Speaking of that, guess what the highest rating individual show in the or episode in this series is?
The flashback episode?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
With an 8.7 for the most pointless episode in the whole thing.
It's so, but you know what it is? I think uniquely, and then I want to I see Pape's comments there that I missed real quick. I do want to get to those. I think that just screams how much people wanted this show to be Alien, to be the retread, to be the rehash. Because, dude, it's exactly, it's most of the plot beats from Alien, slightly transmogrified, you know, with new characters that are all dumb. But yeah, there's an issue with the ship. That shit's gonna go on self-destruct. This ship crashes. You know, there's a 1-by-1 takedown of people. An android has its own agenda. Yada yada. It's all really similar shit. You know, and I think people just wanted that, dude. That's what I thought this show was going to be, because they showed us those characters in all the marketing leading up to it, also with the kids. I thought there was a balance there. I didn't realize it was going to be a flashback. I thought they were all on the same fucking ship. You know,
no,
I'm gonna let me go back up a couple real quick and get paper real quick here. You're looking at things like the different types of aliens. Dude, true. Again, that's I think a big draw for the show is seeing something that wasn't a face hugger. And then this is what I wanted, Dave. The corporate espionage, they're trying to move the story in a different direction. I was down for that. If you go back and check our early talks, if you weren't here yet, I'm pretty sure you were here already. But even before leading into the show coming out, Kingsley and I would talk about if they really want to take the show on a serious level, you do the Game of Thrones thing. Like you have corporations as the houses of Westeros. They're competing, like that a derelict ship crashes or something, and they're all vying to get the sample before it gets out or gets government quarantine and shit like that. That's what I wanted. But we don't have any of that. We get some, what would you even call it? Like some transcendental humanism, cyborg consciousness bullshit, like completely the
transhumanism.
Transhumanism. I know the trans is in there somewhere. I had the wrong one.
Yep, transhumanism, and we'll throw a xenomorph in there for fun. So, do you want to know what the next episode is? We're going to wrap it up.
Well, I don't know if we're going to wrap it up. All right.
No, I'm talking about the show. I was about the episode. We're going to wrap up the series.
Yeah.
So season 1, episode 8 is titled "The Real Monsters."
Oh God!
And
because it was us the whole time.
And the tagline is "A new power dynamic emerges."
Now, see, is that Kirsch? Because this is why we can't be done. I'm not over this yet, right? The kid should have been a subplot. Kirsch should have been Leisha. Fact, Kirsch versus Morrow should have been the show, and it should have been corporate espionage with each of those two leading their teams with their various abilities, gadgets, techniques, missions, subplots, whatever. And the kid should have been there. Yes, dudes, it's like they snuck in the whole. Which I was saying, I feel like they had a show idea here that was all Lost Boys, Peter Pan, Boy Cavalier, and somebody's like Kingsley just said, stick a fucking Xeno in there, make it lame and gay, and here we are. Because that's
stick
what the show
chicken
is.
in it.
Right. That's what they did. That's what they did, man. And so this is what I was saying earlier. Again, pre-show.
Wait, gifted membership.
Gifted. Oh, hey, there he is. Avakazi doing his thing. Appreciate you, dude. Enjoy the run. I was about to say enjoy the runs, but that was going to come out wrong. No, nobody enjoys the runs. That's no bueno. The kids, right? So when Morrow shows up, doesn't get the specimen he was looking for from Slightly, right? How do you not just take two unique prototypical things that are unique technology that are going to change the world and go back to your boss with them as hostages?
So they can reverse engineer them,
right?
And build your own.
Dude,
it's better than the monsters.
Dude, of course it is. Of course it is. On what, and you got two of them, so you could actually kill one of them to see what made them work while keeping the other one alive to study. It's a win-win, dude. Do we know what Yutani's first name is? The girl, they just call her Miss Yutani, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't have a first name. If she doesn't shoot Morrow if he makes it back for failing her on that level, show's even dumber. I can't. That was my immediate. As soon as they let that body on the raft, and did you notice the two guys just kind of dumped Arthur off the raft just to be a dick?
Yep.
And then they show him all like bubbling down into the thing. Like,
why did they still bring him? They knew he was dead and he didn't have the monster in him anymore. Why did they still bring him?
I don't know.
Hey, another gifted membership.
There he is. Deuces. 2-piece. Yeah, dude. The only other stupidness, and this is again, it's a show full of contrivances, one after the other, nonstop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the alien Xeno, the young one, up there, morons on purpose. Dude, I wish the humor was intentional, because I think we said that. I think I said that in comments.
If this was
somewhere.
a comedy, it would work
If
great.
if they stuck to it, if it was like, hey, dark comedy, started. If it was Death of a Unicorn, I didn't review, watched the other day, a couple weeks ago, liked it because the tone it set out from the beginning told you dark comedy, right? Gonna mix in some dad-daughter shit along the way, and then dark comedy, and then nice ending, right? Not a great movie, definitely watchable, definitely fun. But you have to tell me that's what you are up front. I had the same complaint about weapons. You can't tell me it's one thing and then be like, oh wait, surprise, it's funny a little bit. I get it, I'm on the outlier on that.
A little dirt to dirt.
Here, I couldn't dirt weapons. I just couldn't. I like it. I'm never watching it again. The only other thing with Kirsch, right? So the alien thing pops out of Arthur. They're on an island. It's huge. Private research facilities and huge.
Probably the biggest island I've ever seen. It's a huge island.
I mean, it's huge, right? It's huge. Somehow they capture it because it randomly falls into like a net spring trap. It just happened to crawl on one of them things, and it was Kirsch's crew that just happened to be over there to get the damn thing. And we don't know we don't know who caught it up front.
He's planned the whole thing down to a T.
Whole thing. Yeah, he knew. He knew all that was going to happen. He knew.
He's going to straight turn into Hannibal in this next episode. He's going to have the cigar in his mouth. He's been like, I love it when a plan comes together.
I was hoping he turned into the other Hannibal and just ate one of their brains. Like, honestly, that's where I was going.
Well, he's
eat Wendy's brain. I don't know, man.
Zombie cyborgs.
Could that be? Is that a thing? Dan, remember when LSC calls us up? Oh my god! And King had a theory on the on the girlfriend there too. Like you were saying when we put the poll up, you think that like her sole remaining function now is
to become the eye.
Is meatbag, right? Yeah, like not that her character is particularly interesting, but like there's still too many effing people. Why is she still alive? Why is Siberian still alive? Why is Hermit still alive? Who cares? Like this show needed to kill 10 more people on this episode. Like they wasted 40 minutes of my fucking time and killed 2 people that Nibs I liked because she was a psycho robot, but this is what was going to happen in Nibs. Arthur I didn't care for either way, but
she was the Megan of the show.
Right. You know what I mean? We knew Arthur was getting chest bursted 4 episodes ago. Like this wasn't exactly like the edging payoff that anybody was looking for, I don't think. Not with him. Who cares? And he's talking. He's saying, "Oh, you guys don't know how to lie yet, so I know something's going on. We're gonna go back to base and we're gonna sort that shit out." Like, bro, they told you if you weren't off the base in 8 hours, they were gonna shoot you.
Yeah,
shoot you, you dick. So we're gonna talk about the sheep though, because we didn't talk about the sheep.
All right,
the eyeball, your favorite character, most interesting character on the show. So they somehow reason out that everything that happened to Isaac, that's the synth that died. Was intentionally done by eyeball sheep.
Yep, because
they watched the footage and they saw him hit the head on the glass. Now I don't know about you, but it's kind of country up here. We have sheep and horses and all kinds of shit just banging into shit all the time. You think it's intentional? You think they do that to get a rise out of you because they're startled or because they think that somehow they're masterminding a way to get the other alien bug?
But it's not a sheep anymore. It's
it.
The eye controls it 100%. So it was the eye that was actually controlling it.
Exactly. But Boy Cavalier can't know that and shouldn't be assigning intelligence to that at all based on the facts that he could see. We get to see that because we get the benefit of not seeing shit he sees.
No, we saw it do it when it first took over the sheep.
We saw it do what? That would lend you to think that it's intelligent. It's different.
It stood
it's
up,
weird.
it looked at them, and it was watching them, and it kept watching them. They made comments about it. Like he's watching, he's learning.
It's still animal intelligence. And for them to think that it came up with this like complicated plan to somehow get to enlist accomplices, I don't know. I didn't buy that part there. But I like the part where Boy Cavalier has a new best friend, and I gotta talk to it. And he somehow reasons out that it's so intelligent, this other species, that if he writes pi on his hand, 3.14, thanks, Jimmy, we'll see you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate you. He writes pi on his hand, 3.14, shows the sheep and says, any intelligent society would know what this is. What's the next two numbers? And before we even get to the numbers, I'm saying to myself, dolphins are intelligent. They don't know what pi is. Whales are pretty intelligent. They don't know what pi is, no shot. Like, there's that. Agree with King. They're implying intelligence with what's the cool graphic there that
it looks like the eye.
Is it a bug? Oh, the eye. Okay. All right. They're gonna go full screen, man. My ass is tired. So, anyways, the sheep stomps out one. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And then it stomps out 5 with the other foot. I'm like, oh shit, it is intelligent. And it's like, all right, what's the next one? And then it takes a shit.
Which is also its one.
Gave you the 2, right? It gave you the 2.
Oh, the
it's
2.
Number 2.
That's right, it's 2, yeah.
3.14152. So I'm like, they did something clever finally, and it involved sheep shit. Okay. Here we are. That's a show. That's Alien Earth, everybody. Sheep shit. Most interesting thing that happened in 40 minutes. I can't. With the show. Look, we got 1 episode left. It's going to go finale. You're thinking they're not going to nuke the island? And then
I don't think they're going to nuke the island. It's going to be, there's going to be a huge cliffhanger of like Morrow escaping with one of the kids. And I think it will be the xenomorph is going to be turned into a, what do you call that? A blue tick hound. And it's going to start tracking them.
All right. And I honestly don't know then if I let you talk me into not thinking they nuked the island, but there are a couple of survivors. Wendy's the star of the show. She probably gets out. The brother might die. I don't think we need him. She'll get out with a Xeno, and then maybe Morrow survives and has to track her or something. Like I could see Utani putting her on the blood hunt.
She's going to come down to choosing her new family, which is her and Xeno, or her and her old family, her and her brother.
Now, Pape says if there's a season 2, they can't nuke the island. I would ask why. Why can't they, assuming that other people get out before the nuke goes off?
There's no way anyone could get far enough away in time if a nuke goes
off. It's this show. If it's a tactical nuke in the lab, blah, 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 underground, burn the bunker out, yada, yada. Yeah. Minimum safe distance.
EMPs.
Dude, don't know. Couldn't tell you. Dude, maybe they have a hardened bunker that could withstand a blast of up to blah, 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 blah. I don't know. We can't put those kind of realistic restrictions on these idiots because they don't buy that shit. I know. That's why that movie. I hated that. It was so stupid. It's worse than Dark Knight Rises. Though.
But that was a neutrino bomb. We didn't know how much that would release. That was not a true nuclear bomb,
dude. That bomb would have vaporized his ass no matter what. The Batwing ain't that fast. There's no shot.
No, he jumped out, and then the Batwing kept on flying.
So what happened was he jumped out, went underwater, which is, we know the shockwave multiplies its force through water by a factor of like 100. But okay, whatever you want to do. Parboil his ass. Whatever, it's cool.
It pushed him below the thermal line, and so he was completely safe by the completely cold water down there. And then he goes back to the top, and then floated to Spain.
What's the thing from the Meg? If you go down so deep, the water actually gets warm because there's a level of cold water that's basically frozen and it holds heat down, like the permafrost or permafreeze.
It's the permaline, because that's where submarines go under to hide from torpedoes because it can't pick up anything after that.
Yeah. So he did that. Yeah, sure he did. Batman. I don't care. None of the people on this show are Batman. But again, I would say thermoclean. Thank you. That was the word. Nicely done, Pape. But again, I would say on this show, even assuming that some of the primary cast is required for a season 2. I don't think they are. I wouldn't give a shit, And because we know the data exists elsewhere now, they could follow up with that. Utani knows that she sent a TAC team to the island to do whatever. Boy Cavalier could start the episode next week by maybe he finally has an original good idea, and he goes, you know what, dude, fuck it, we're out of here. I'm leaving. and the bomb doesn't get triggered until halfway through the episode, he's already gone.
And he shoots a rocket into space with a synth on it that crash lands in the Badlands and breaks in half, so a predator can strap it on his back.
Imagine if this show does double whammy duty and connects this bullshit to Alien and Predator. Oh my god, dude. If he's gonna shoot a rocket into space, like, can you just do it like Futurama and put every copy of this show on like Blu-ray or whatever and fucking just shoot it straight into the sun like they did with all their gear at the end of Battlestar Galactica? Like, I'm down for that. Give me that into Alien Earth. Like, it all just goes crashing into the sun. Because I think that's about where I'm at with it. I can't. I don't do it. Was this the worst episode so far? Maybe not.
No, I think the last episode's still the worst one. This one's a little bit better because this one
right, that was still after the flashback, right? The flashback was 5. Okay.
Yeah, that's the most pointless one.
Yeah.
This one, at least you got to see a Xeno in action. You got to see a cool come up out of the water.
I like that.
And there was some comedy and some fun stuff in this one.
I'd like to point out, though, as I said, last week when we were talking about the Yutani commandos getting the island, I said there's no shot they give you cool Yutani cyborg commandos doing pimp shit, and they didn't. They got
Eyeball Predator versus Xeno.
I'd buy that for $1. He just connected everything. I love it. One short message, nicely done. Yeah, dude. I can't. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Fuck this show. It's just bad.
All right, let's move on then.
Let's move on. Yeah, let's go. I can't go too late.
So let's go from bad to sad.
Bad to sad. Lead the way.
2 days ago, we lost a American icon, the original American heartthrob, Robert Redford. He passed away with friends and family. He lost his battle with liver disease and liver cancer.
I didn't know.
He starred in, I believe it was 122 different things. Well, he acted in 122 different things. He didn't technically star. But, I mean, he's played a wide range of characters. Even in his later career, he was still a leading man type character, stuff with Spy Games with Brad Pitt, which was kind of the passing of the torch from American Heartthrob to American Heartthrob. He was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Butch Cassidy, yeah.
That was it.
That was his breakout role in '69.
Yep. He was in All the President's Men.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one he was in? He was in a lot of stuff. Like, Robert Redford was a true American actor.
I have his limited iconic stuff here because I was pulling together a list. You mentioned Butch Cassidy for sure. He was in The Way We Were. 3 Days of the Condor was another banger.
Yeah.
President's Men. Indecent Proposal was another.
Yeah, with him, Woody Harrelson, and Demi.
And Demi Moore, like those like mid 90s. All Is Lost was another big one there. I remember him. My mom used to love he was in a movie with Michelle Pfeiffer. Up Close and Personal. The Sting is on the list also. Up Close and Personal with Michelle Pfeiffer. He was a war photographer and kind of doing the romance passing.
Yeah, that was Up Close and Personal.
Yeah, Up Close and Personal. Yep. Had a Celine Dion
song. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. Yeah, so my man had
Sneakers. Oh, my favorite hacking movie of all time.
Yeah, right.
With Dan Aykroyd, his mother.
Yeah. Yeah, so he definitely he's got a lasting legacy here. And like I joked on myself earlier, like I never realized that the Sundance Film Festival is named for him. Oh, dude, he was Brubaker, the OG. That's right, dude. Pape's got the film. Dude, Pape must have Wikipedia'd him, or maybe he just remembers them first.
Oh, another great.
He's got the list
later in his career was the Last Castle.
Last Castle. Yep,
that was a great movie too.
Yep. Yes, I mean his legacy goes beyond like he means something to film. You know what I mean? Getting together a festival that has independent films come up and putting them on notice and showing people there's a system outside of Hollywood that produces meaningful motion pictures.
Yeah, back then there wasn't franchises. It was people who came up with original screenplays or adapted books.
Yeah.
But it was like you had stories about people, not events. Like now it feels like with superhero movies, you have events These has to be a
Oh,
spectacular.
everything's an event movie, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a movie about people. Me and my wife, we watched one the other day, an old Alan Alda movie that you just don't see this type of movie anymore. It's called Four Seasons, and it's pretty much just about their relationship together. Nothing special about it. There was no, like, the conflict was all between them and just being like those friends that know everything about you.
Right.
And yeah, it was just like dealing with life change and stuff like that. You just don't have that those type of movies anymore.
No, we don't. I noticed that kind of thing too. Like when I'm
The Natural, yes,
banger. Good call. You know, when I'm on the streaming services that I have and I'm looking for something to watch, and I'm going through, you know, Peacock and Paramount and HBO Max and Netflix and Disney Plus and Shudder and Tubi and Jesus, too many of these effing Hulu.
Yeah, and if you pay them all together, it's more expensive than cable, which is the reason why we went to streaming to begin with.
And I have cable still. I don't know why. These kind of movies aren't out there anymore, and like a meaningful, like this is probably a shit example, right? But like, when was the last time there was a Forrest Gump movie, like that movie?
Yeah.
What was the last big dramatic piece like that like people talked about and quoted for, you know, a decade? Like, what came out in 2010 that people are still quoting now, dramatically speaking? You know, comedies still come and go sometimes, and even them, they're limited.
To go into full conspiracy theory mode here, a lot of people believe that's why the world actually did end in 2012, because we've had no new era things. It's all been rehashing the same stuff we've already done. Like, you did see a era shift from the 70s to the 80s. You just see an era shift from the 80s to the 90s. You just see an era shift from the 80s to the early, or the 90s to the early 2000s, and then a little bit in 2010. But I mean, what's really changed since then, except life just went on.
Yeah, that's right. And
music sucks.
That, like, music's been terrible for a while. I mean, you can make the argument that like the superhero thing really took over and put every other genre on notice, that like it was going to crowd the box office and like just dominate for a decade, and it did. I mean, Iron Man came out when
2007,
something like that, right? And then after you have that, you're on a decade and a half run into Endgame, and then everything's downhill from there for superhero genre, and other genres are starting to claw their way back in. You get things like Hemsworth's action flicks with Extraction. Pretty much mind-numbing movie that you can just, you know. But it's like it's a reversion to like 80s action shit. You know, the Expendables is still chugging along, even though the fourth one was really bad. You know, horror always has its presence. We were on a horror hot streak here. That was a topic we were going to get into a little bit. Yeah, we can talk about that for sure. You know, in this year alone, with Sinners, with Weapons, The Long Walk, and The Conjuring. Not that the Long Walk's not really horror. I got to remove that out of there.
That's more thriller. That's probably more return to the drama that we've been talking about, and maybe that's why it was so good. Is because it was something that was new. Yeah, like it's not new. But it's been something that's been lacking from the box office for a while now.
And we can call it new because, I mean, the book was written 50 years ago, you know, and never had a screen or a film adaptation that I'm aware of. That's why I think, like you were saying, fans of the book, fans of the author, were kind of stoked that this one was getting a film pass. You know, it was getting the treatment finally. But horror in general, it hasn't ever really gone anywhere. But I think when you stack up even mediocre horror, and I'm not saying any of these things are mediocre. You know, I'm not going to go that far. But when you stack them up versus Captain Falcon, you stack them up versus Thunderbolts, which I know you liked. Rock on. Yeah.
It was a good change of pace from what we've seen recently.
I'll give it that. It at least got that right for what it was trying to do. But even officially from like the company side, taken the public L and admitted that it took a loss. You know what I mean? But when we stick these horror movies up against those, like, dude, there's no reason a fourth Conjuring movie should be like ass blasting superhero movies in the theaters. And it did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it did. There's no reason Jurassic Park 43, 48, I don't know. There's a lot of them. Dude,
until you're 90.
Dude, I feel like I'll be seeing them until I'm 90 because my kid likes the dinos still. Like, that movie made bank. Why is Jurassic World 7 or 10 or whatever it is making bank? I don't know. Why is The Conjuring 4 making bank? And how many are in the Conjuring verse? 12? 12 total. We have the graphics, like 8.
Yeah.
I don't remember. You know, but those movies are all making bank. And here we are. Like horror's on a hot streak, and now we've got him coming out this week, right? Isn't that this week? I gotta see if I can get over there.
Yeah, that's this week comes out tomorrow, actually.
Is it Thursday already?
Holy yeah.
Shit. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be catching it tomorrow.
I can't. We'll have to sort that out. Maybe the weekend. But but him's another good look. Him's another one. I feel like it's got a lot of the same sort of buzz that I think Weapons did. Like we know Weapons, the script went around Hollywood for a hot minute. There was a bidding war to get it locked down so people could make it. Jordan Peele famously sent like his representation team, like his agents, whatever they are,
to get it, and then
to acquire rights, and
he fired them.
And he fired them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he fired them for not getting that script.
And then his name ended up on this and on him as executive producer. Right. So I'm saying there's big names and big dollars behind horror. This one's got Marlon Wayans in there as playing
a completely different role than we've ever seen him before.
This is the one that's gonna put him on that Robin Williams. I can play a psycho character list. Watch
when he did 1 hour photo. That was Robin Williams.
Because comedians can make terrifying villains because they understand. They get it.
That's why
Marlon Wayans is going to creep your balls off when that movie comes out.
I was watching my boys over on my sports podcast here on YouTube, Crunch Time Sports. If you want to catch out, if you love Detroit sports, I was talking with them in the chat, and I told them the reason why people like Jordan Peele, comedic actor, people like Zach Creeder, comedic actor, do horror so well is because the people who make you laugh have the darkest secrets, and they know how to tap into it.
100%. I think that, and we were talking about just like original story ideas and not being part of a franchise or an event. Like even if this movie is loosely based on Tom Brady, loosely, like in the rise from nothing or being undrafted or picked sixth in the second, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? He wasn't the heir apparent. No. It's an interesting take on a sports story that I don't think I've ever seen anything like. Like, how far do you go? What will you give up? What will you take for yourself? I'm not going to give it to you. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? The trailer's intense. Like, the trailer's definitely intense, especially when it starts flickering in some of that weird demonic looking imagery near the end, like the weird goat masks and fucking people covered in blood. Is that real? Is that in his head? Is he breaking down? He calls his mom. She's like, baby, is everything okay? He's like, I think something's wrong out here. Like, is he talking about himself? Like, I'm curious. And that's what an effing trailer is supposed to do.
It's supposed to build that intrigue.
Yes. And not give everything away. Dude, I don't know if Marlon Wayans is the bad guy. I mean, he does use a football throwing machine to sling one at a receiver's face at a distance of 3 feet. But, you know, what else if everybody signed up?
It's called the jib machine.
There we are. So it does build that kind of intrigue. It doesn't show the final battle. It probably didn't show a big reveal in a meaningful way that I'm like, oh, now I don't have to see it because the demon was in him the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't do that. So like horror again, I think is it saving the box office? I mean, we need more of it. I don't think it's saving the industry because it's just not.
It's not saving theaters right now, but we need another year like this one to build upon to bring people back to the theater. Because right now theaters are dying. They're completely dying.
And horror is a tough sell to get that done too. Because when you think about it, like what are the odds, right? Weapons had an R rating, right?
Yes.
Okay. And made bank. Sinners, I think, had an R rating.
Yes.
Bank. Him has an R rating.
Yes.
We're waiting to see how that plays out. The Conjuring is a PG-13, I think. Do they get, or are they an R? Maybe we're gonna have the Oracle check out if she's still here. I don't know if she's still here. It looks like she's on her phone. Okay. I'll let you fact check that. But imagine if we're in a calendar year where 4 rated R horror movies make significant bank and out earn. Did you find it?
Yeah, it's rated R.
It was. Okay. So I thought for some reason some of those movies dipped down to PG-13. I don't know why I thought that. I thought they did. So, but imagine if, like, what are the odds that next year you get 4 more horror movies that actually make bank like that? Because usually horror works kind of in reverse. You need to get that PG-13 to get a more general audience to kind of inflate how many kids, how many teens, date nights.
Now if you don't get that R rating, you don't have the, what do they call that? The cred to be a true one.
I do. Agreed. And Pape's pointing out another good thing too. Theaters are dying because it's $80 to $100 to people to see a film, get popcorn, and drink. Dude, you're not wrong, dude. And this is the thing: if the experience was better in theater, the cost consideration would be mitigated to a degree. I think $80 to $100 is still a lot of money. You're dead ass right. You know what I mean? I have long since stopped buying concessions in the building, if you know what I mean. I shop ahead of time. But I'm also not trying to argue with anybody in line. I'm not trying to politely ask somebody to get out of the seat that I bought yesterday, because I'm not trying to get stabbed at a movie theater, and I don't live in that kind of environment. But I'm also not trying to like draw down on you and shoot you to get out of my seat. I'm not interested in people being on their phones. I'm not interested in people talking. And none of that shit happens in my living room with like an 80-inch television, 4K, decent sound, and people leaving me alone while I'm watching shit. So I think it's an experience cost. When you make it worth my while, I'll go.
And see, that's some of them are trying to do some of.
And I just dropped the king. Okay, he'll get back on.
Order.
Still can't hear him too good. I can see your eyes moving. You're back. You're back.
Okay, so I was saying like a lot of them are trying to do that now. They're trying to build that experience back with stuff like having bars there, being able to order different types of food and stuff like that. So they're trying to rebuild that experience there by offering these new amenities. Because when you look at a theater only makes less than 5%. It's free.
He said you were free. I don't know if you saw him. He said you were frozen. Let it go.
Let it go. But they only get less than 2% of ticket sales to the theater.
That's why your Pepsi's $12.
That's where they make their money.
I understand the economic reality of that, but I think you know what the problem with adding amenities that grown-ups want, right? Your average teen couple isn't going to show up there and probably drop $60-$70 on concessions like Paper saying, because I'll go there, but you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not giving you $18 for the 6 buffalo wingding plate with fries. I'm just not, dude. The value prop for me, like, I will eat dinner where I want and then go see your movie there. And then, like you said, you get your 2% cut of the gate, and that's it. You're fucked. Like the theaters are boned for that. But I don't know how your theaters are doing it down there. But Pay probably has a similar experience to me because he's a regional guy up here. A lot of our theaters here are stacked now playing old shit. They just ran through all the Harry Potter movies up here at a bunch of these chains. We had Jaws. Dude, Jaws dominated the box office like 3 weekends. That's another horror movie. Killing it, dude. It made like $40 million or some shit. Right? Dude, me too. I got to get at least a small one there. I got to.
I don't need it, but I'm lucky that my partner, my wife, she does like the popcorn, so I get to share in that. So
there we are. Your theater's doing that stuff down there where like they're bringing back, because we did Batman 89 over the summer. I think we Star Wars on a rotation. Lord of the Rings just had the Fellowship back.
And then we also have one that does all the Phantom events as well. So we did all like we did some concerts and stuff like that in our theater. Yep. So we have that they use the space quite well to still, but they hadn't been.
That's the difference is they haven't been. I think for a few years, especially leading out of the pandemic, it was a lot of dead space, closed theaters, no show times, opening at like 6, and there's hardly any afternoon shows. But I think they figured that out, like you're saying, is now that if I wanted to, right, my ass could go over to the theater tomorrow and watch Hamilton in perfect peace and quiet in a sing-along theater with nobody at 11:30 tomorrow. And I don't think 3 years ago they would have done that. I'm not seeing Hamilton.
Great story about that.
Really wants to see that.
So
did you get passed over for the role? You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I always get passed over for roles. But but we were across the street from our local theater where we have our unlimited membership pass. And we were having we were playing some games with some friends. And we're like, well, I don't have to work tomorrow. They didn't have to work the next day. So we decided at 10 o'clock at night that we were going to go to the theater and see Cats to see how bad it really was.
Oh, that one.
We were one. Well, there was 4 of us, and there was like 2 other people in there, and they walked out halfway through. Yeah, so it was just us yelling at the screen about how bad this movie was. It was a lot of fun.
Dude, you got to remember that Cats movie was so bad. That's the one where they went back in and like digitally like re-edited cat butthole. That's how bad that movie was.
And there was like extras who were supposed to be bats that had no CGI on them. Yeah. And then for some reason, the Dame Judi Dench is staring at you for like a straight 20-minute dialogue.
Because she knows.
Just looking right at you.
Because she knows what she did. She knows. She was like,
I want the paycheck.
I'm Dame Judi Dench. I can do this. It'd be like if Ian McClellan showed up and like dropped it. It'd be like if Ian McClellan actually showed up on Rings of Power. It was just like, I'm fucking Gandalf. What do you want from me? This other guy, he ain't fucking Gandalf. Who the fuck is this guy? Gangrolf or whatever they called him. Not Gandalf. I've been called him not Gandalf for 3 seasons. But yeah, I think that horror, just to tie that back, horror isn't mainstream enough. It can't access the biggest audience like Titanic can, like Batman can.
And see, I think
like Barbie can or Oppenheimer
can. I think because horror can transcend the different groups to bring a lot of different people in.
But I don't think there's interest there on that. I think that there's my mother never going to go see a horror movie. One of my sisters is just a grand elf. Yeah, thank you, because he's the grand elf. Exactly. Some people just aren't into it. But I feel like and again on like the date night, couples night out situation, there's usually one person that doesn't want to go to the horror movie. I feel like, but a general movie.
But speaking of horror movies and reboots, we got a new reboot, but it's done different, and I'm actually excited about this. Now, we all remember the late 90s.
I don't think it was late. Was it late? Are you sure? I was going to say
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up real quick.
I'm calling like 96 on that.
No, it was way before 96.
Oh, well, that's definitely not late 90s then. That's early. Because I feel like I saw that in theater, and I remember who the high school girlfriend was at that time, and I know what year. 97 says the Oracle.
97.
Yeah.
So late 90s, like I said.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You said way before that.
Because I remember I went with 2 of my dad's soldiers, Lockhart and Morton. And I remember Lockhart saying, if Ice Cube bites it, I'm walking out. I'm like, well, it's a horror movie, so of course Ice Cube's going to bite it. But he didn't.
Message. See, I don't know if that's peak hotness on J-Lo though. No. I feel like a few years later when her music became mega widescreen.
Yeah, that was just post Fly Girl J-Lo. Yeah. So
I think peak was definitely when like right before Jenny on the Block. Jenny from the Block. On the Block was probably the truth though. Hey,
Jenny around the block.
So Jenny around the block a couple times. Yeah. So, anyways, there's a movie coming out. King Z was saying.
Yes.
Sidetracked in Living Color.
So we're talking about the movie Anaconda, and it's coming back out. There's a reboot of it, but it's not your typical reboot. So you have Jack Black, you have Paul Rudd, and you have Steven Zane, which I love Steven Zane. No matter what role he plays, I love Steven Zane.
Funny.
He is so funny. His best role, some of his best roles, especially, was in That Thing You Do.
I like him in Saving Silverman. That's one of my favorite bits of him. He's physically all over the place, zany.
And then he did do the horror movies too, because he was in Joyride with Paul Walker.
Indeed. Everybody forgets Paul Walker was in that too, which disappoints me.
Candy cane.
Yeah. So, we had a picture. Wait, is this a trailer or is this a picture that we got there?
This is the first trailer that dropped today.
Haven't seen it. Okay, let's take a peek. Hopefully the audio works. Buckle up, everybody.
Let's drop that trailer.
I think this is going to be funny.
I don't want to wait, man.
Doug, what are you talking about?
Let's do it. Let's reboot Anaconda.
Yes.
Wait.
What?
That could be us.
This is going to be the adventure of a lifetime. We've dreamed of making this movie ever since we were kids.
What does it cost to get this thing made?
$2.5 million.
We've approved a loan for up to $9,400.
Yes.
We're going to shoot it indie style. Run and gun.
We need a riverboat, a script, a snake handler, and a real snake.
Claire, you and I will star in it.
I love you, Derek.
Kenny, you shoot it.
Here we go.
Doug, you direct.
Action! Put your face right up next to the snake.
No.
Maybe it'll be okay.
Coding.
We killed the snake.
This is Anaconda, and we no longer have a snake for our snake movie.
You're gonna do the thing I said.
We have to go out in the jungle.
Oh, never mind. No, they're not.
And find another one.
What is that?
Oh my.
My Anaconda! We're in the middle of the jungle and we are being hunted! My Anaconda! Now we die! My Anaconda! It's okay, you're safe, I'm here!
Just
Holy! My Anaconda! Keep rolling!
Dude, this is how all remakes should look going forward.
he's dead.
Oh no! What are we gonna do?
What if we use Doug as bait to get back to the boat?
That's a really smart idea.
Doug would have wanted this.
Maybe
I'm
he is
not sure
dead.
he would have wanted this.
Oh, look at the snake. He's alive.
I think he checked his pulse! He did! Doug! He's right behind you! What the hell is on my back? It's a long story! Run!
He ain't dying. Can't kill Steve. Dude, I thought for 2 seconds they were going to do the thing that we were talking about where like they decide they're going to remake the movie, but because they can't afford like After Effects, they were going to make like a crappy model of their own that's just on wires and just try to like undulate a snake back and forth and have it look terrible. This is even better. Like this is serious. I love this. I love this. Like, oh shit, we killed the prop snake that was real that we bought with our $9,000. Now we're boned and we got to go out in the woods in the jungle. I can't wait. I don't even care if it bombs, and it might.
It probably will, but it's I'm gonna laugh. And once again, back to Steven Zahn, great comedic timing. Yes, and then I'm cutting.
That was good shit, dude. And dude, Jack Black, mostly funny most of the time.
Yeah,
I'll say it. Yeah, exactly. He ain't dying, dude. Jack Black can't die. Pape says because plot. No shot, dude. None of that main cast is dying. The girl that died was that the girl from the beginning?
I don't think so.
Business meeting? Yeah, I don't know. She's a scrub. She's an extra.
I just
you'll be fine.
He would wanted it this way. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't.
That's what I mean. So as long as they don't do the thing that comedies do sometimes, where they're like, okay, you're pretty funny, you're pretty funny, you're pretty funny. We're not going to write any jokes. We're not going to write most of the script. We're going to have you ad lib. Just you guys just riff. You know, you guys vamp for a couple minutes and we'll just take the best of what you get. Like, no. Structure it for me and let them work within those confines a little bit.
So what I want to see is the John Voight cameo, like trying to become the riverboat guide.
Dude, imagine if. Imagine it. Now, if they, and they're not going to. Right?
No, they're not.
But could they write it? Like, if they're trying to remake the movie, who are they going to get to be that character? Like, that's the question. Like, who do they go after? Who does the real life movie cast in the John Voight role that crew remaking their movie would then go find? You know what I mean? Like, that could be funny also. You know, but I'm looking for, dude, if this goes down somehow, like to Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz or in that layer of meta dark comedy stuff, I'm in. There ain't no reason not to like it, or not to at least not give it a shot. But again, is this the kind of thing your parents would go see? Would the other married couples at your church group go see it? Do you think kids that are like 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, are they going to go see it and boost numbers? I don't know. That's what makes horror sometimes unreliable. This movie is going to have a budget. You don't get Jack Black, Steve Zahn, and the other three people in there. Paul Rudd. Yeah, dude, they're not working for cheap. You know, so this isn't shot on a budget of $15 million. It's not until dawn. So we'll have to take a peek at that deep cut.
45 million.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm shocked. Could get Lawrence Fishburne his first role as the gunner on the boat in Apocalypse Now. Oh, his first role was the gunner. Oh, yep. That could work. I was gonna say that couldn't have been his first role. He was in this, that, and the other. But yeah, you're right. I read that wrong. My bad. Yes, at 45 million, it could have a decent opening weekend. It depends on what's it opening against in December. What's the counter?
It's opening on Christmas.
You know? There's always adult movies that come out and around Christmas for folks that don't celebrate, for folks that don't have family and stuff like that. Like that usually is a a fairly lucrative holiday weekend.
Or there's people who still celebrate and still go to the movies on Christmas.
You got to get out of the house and get away from the in-laws and all that good stuff. For sure.
Let's see, Christmas. It's going up against Stranger Thing. Oh no, that's TV.
That's TV, yeah. But that kind of, but that's a time competitor though. Yeah. So it is kind of competing against that. And if I'm already subscribed to Netflix, maybe I don't dip out right away to see a horror comedy. For like Pape said, for the bargain price of $80 if I go with the wife.
Return of the Dead. It's going up against.
Return of the what now?
Dead.
The Living Dead.
Yeah.
No, I was at really. It's going back to theater. Which one? There's like 4 of them now.
No, I think there's a new one for 2025.
Yeah, but the problem is if you go on like Tubi, there's literally like 5 movies that are called Return of the Living Dead now. It's kind of garbage.
Yeah, there is a film titled Return of the Living Dead 2025, a Christmas-themed reboot of the sequel directed by Stephen Woosh of the Living Dead Media.
What are they going to CGI like Santa hats into this shit? Dude, I might see it just for that. For the meme, the Oracle using my sign-in says SpongeBob and the Avatar come out that previous week. Avatar's box office death for anybody else that's opening against them, that's for sure. Yeah. Avatar's making its billion. It's just how it goes. Because Avatar is going to crush internationally. There's no that money's guaranteed, right? The money that Marvel leaves on the table now in China, Avatar's getting all of that.
Yeah,
come December.
Because what is it? China only allows 8 American movies every year. So.
It's a single-digit number, and the studios only get back like a fifth of what the tally is anyway. So they need literally every Chinese dollar that they can get, and that's what I mean. Marvel's left that all on the table. I think something like 60 or 70% I was reading in the China gross from this. What is this phase they're on, by the way? I meant to ask you, is this technically 6? Are we in phase 6?
No, I think still phase 5. Because phase 4.
December, that's the one. Yep. The Fire Tribe movie, yeah.
Yeah, the movie next year will start phase 6.
Okay.
The movies next year will start phase 6.
True. Yeah, so I mean, but Avatar this year locks down the holiday box office, especially in December.
Yeah,
like that. Like people would struggle, I think, to make a case for seeing Anaconda versus Stranger Things. I'm watching Stranger Things when I want, and I'll go see Avatar. Like if I've already enjoyed the other first 2 movies in that series, I haven't seen the second one yet. So with the Way of Water, and this is What of Fire, Fire and Ash,
Fire and Ash, yeah, something like that.
Whatever, some
Chicken and Age, you know how it goes.
Taking a steak and cheese, I don't know. Whatever.
That
Avatar,
steak and cheese.
Right? But James Cameron goes to Pandora to get a steak and cheese, unobtainium style. Like, yeah, no, I don't need that movie. I think I'm all set with that. Avatar Pape says Avatar will be online. It will until like literally the studio there deploys every known AI solution to scrub it from online so it can't be pirated into oblivion. And and Way of Water made its $1.7 billion. Like it didn't hit 2 like the first one did, but it took the first one 10 years to hit $2 billion.
Well, it also took it I think he filmed it for 5 years.
Oh yeah, but again, he was there was a tech issue they were waiting for. He knew there was a tech in development that was going to let him do some of that underwater funkiness, and he was waiting on that because they're basically like ILM. Cameron's guys, like they spearhead a lot of that new tech they do for VFX and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there, and then I'll send you. We're running out of time here, so we won't get into it too deep. But I'll send you the link, and I'll tell Pape and whoever's still listening and lurking. So there's a bit of a rumor that went around the circles of comic review channels, things like that, about what the plot of Doomsday Avengers might be. Maybe a little retcon to Doom's background, which is concerning. I wanted to run that by you. So apparently the story might involve Doom having an axe to grind with Steve Rogers, who we last saw at the end of Endgame, putting the stones back where they belong, but then remaining with Peggy in the 50s. Right? That was the ending to Endgame. Mm-hmm. So apparently the unintended consequence of that, per these rumors, grain of salt. Oracle, if you could back up the salt truck and just dump a big pile of salt, we need the beep, beep sound effect. We have to work on that. Doom has a bone to pick with that because apparently Steve correcting the timeline gets Doom's family killed or something. So it undoes his gypsy background, mother killed, sorcery stuff, like that might not be as big of a thing. So there's the canon issue, but then this is the other half I wanted to ask you about. Allegedly, biggest grain of salt is the results of this movie may decanonize phases 4, 5, and everything on Disney Plus. That way they can open their new timeline going forward with phase 6 only on the big screen and with no involvement of small screen at all. What do you think of that?
They were going to have to do it somehow. I think going this way, which if they go and use Secret War as the way to destroy the multiverse, which we all know they are, because that's exactly what this Secret War that they're building towards does. And what I've read about this is that Dr. Doom's power of magic and science mixed has given him an ultimate power over the multiverse. And he's pulling them all together so he could destroy it and be the ultimate power through all timelines.
Do they have to? We know they can go for the clean slate, and they have to, because they're going to put up.
You have to restart casting people and stuff like that. Yeah.
But do you have to go the extra mile of decanonizing all the stuff that a lot of people?
I don't think it would
like
decanonize it. It would just get rid of it. It'll put it in the past and of an old timeline type thing. And what they could
it's a way
do
to cheat decanonizing
is what I told you about the story with Onslaught. Now that we have, but
Reed, right?
Yeah, and it killed all of the heroes. They weren't killed, but Franklin trapped them in a pocket universe and then brought them all back into the was it 616?
MCU timeline is 616. Yep.
So yeah, he brings them back into the 616, all alive, and that's where you're going to get the ones who survived from their planet or from their timelines. In this one, there was planets, but this one it's the multiverse, and they're back, but it's not who you think it is. So it's going to be the recast of Spider-Man. It's going to be the recast of Iron Man, the recast of Captain America.
And I'm good with that. If those are who those characters are cast to be for like the foreseeable future, then you have to do a good job casting. Like you can't just put whoever you want. But I guess for me, as somebody that's long since, hoped and dreamed and wished that Star Wars would decanonize literally everything after TLJ, including TLJ and onward. You can keep the Force Awakens and just do something better with the First Order. Is that who the bad guys were?
First Order.
Right. Like decanonization is a pipe dream, I think, for fans that didn't like any of this shit. But Marvel has that unique opportunity where they do the timeline reset in publication, like every 7 years anyway.
Yeah.
Where there's, this is the new 52, and on the DC side.
That was DC side, yeah.
I can't think of the Marvel stuff off the top of my head.
And now was it the New Start is what they called this new one when they got rid of the 52?
They got a bunch of crap on DC now called Absolute that does some re-envisionings and things. But it's convoluted now. So resetting everything and just having a better business plan going forward, I think, is the best kind of damage control they can do.
It's kind of like what the fast food restaurants did during the pandemic. They streamlined their menus.
Yep.
So they would have just what they need to get through the normal day. Yeah, 6 options instead of 75 when you drove up to the window.
That's what I think. That's where they need to go in a very, very serious way, because what we have here for Doomsday, and I listen to this shit all the time, right? And it gets me thinking while I'm driving. We got an Avengers movie, dude. It's called Avengers Doomsday. It's not just called Doomsday. It's called Avengers, dude. Who are the Avengers right now? Where have they been? Where's Doctor Strange? You know what I mean? We know where Spider-Man is.
He's in the multiverse.
Okay, he's doing something with Charlize Theron from the end of from Multiverse of Madness that they've never revisited in 5 years.
No.
Okay? They've got a bunch of people on the Thunderbolts that were hit or miss. They're really pushing Yelena. Breaking news: she's not Scarlett Johansson. She's not the Black Widow. She's not.
Better.
No shot. She's got zero the appeal that ScarJo has, and you can like her. That's fine.
I think she's better.
She may be a better actor. She's zero visual appeal, and she does not embody Black Widow's sexy super agent. Doesn't. and a bunch of all the other kid Avengers that they're not doing that. That what movie ended with that bullshit where like Miss Marvel was putting together with Kate Bishop Hawkeye and the other one to form Young Avengers. Like we haven't had that follow up. Shang-Chi hasn't had a follow up. Captain Marvel was so bad that they had to put 2 other Marvels in her movie, and that's still the lowest performing thing they have. Like, there's no Avengers, dude. This Doomsday movie only works because they basically rolled every dollar they had up to RDJ, up to Chris Hemsworth, up to Chris Evans. That's a fact. He's clearly going to be a big part of the movie. And people are going to go for that in the Fox X-Men. So once you get rid of all that stuff and start over, where do you focus? What do you begin phase 6 with to build your next franchise? Who's your next Iron Man? You think it's the X-Men? I think
it's the X-Men. It's the mutant saga is next. It'll be the end of the multiverse saga, and it'll be the beginning of the mutant saga, and it's trying to build towards X-Men versus Avengers.
That layers a whole nother bit of tricky then, right? Because the X-Men is a team, and even if they take their smallest number of people, they're gonna have 5 and Professor X, right? Give or take. Who is their Iron Man? Whose movie
Colossus
gets this off the But dude, do you go see a Colossus solo film?
No, you said who is their Iron Man, and literally it's Colossus.
So, but on that serious note, I think the only person that you go to see a solo flick for a new X-Men team is Wolverine, and it's been done. So I don't know that people want a new Wolverine to gamble on the same way. They're like, hey, RDJ's out of rehab. Well, what do you do? What's the plan? What's the move?
You do it reverse because X-Men are a team. You don't focus on the hero. You focus on the villain. Because everyone knows what the hero's going to do, but everyone shows up for what the villain is.
All right, so if X-Men is your first movie out of the gate after you, let's say they stick the landing and do a perfect slate clean. Perfect, right? Everybody's happy, right? You get a reasonable budget. You get to have 5 X-Men and Professor X. You get the mansion. You get the plane, the Blackbird, whatever they drive. I don't remember what it was. Right?
It's a plane.
I know it's a plane. I didn't remember. It's not a Blackbird though. Clearly,
it's based off of the SR-71 called the Blackbird.
So it was based off the Blackbird. I'm remembering some shit. Who's your villain in movie 1? Because I've seen you do Magneto already like 9 times.
No, you don't do Magneto.
That's what I'm saying.
You have Magneto as Joseph.
Okay.
So you start off with Magneto as Joseph. You have your team already built, and they're late in their thing. We don't need to see Charles trying to
doing the Fantastic Four thing. The recent Fantastic Four, we're 5 years in.
Yeah, okay. and we're
not trying to bring in a new Logan.
No,
not trying to introduce him.
Actually, if you want to do a hero and to build the X-Men, you could always start with Bishop.
Okay. I mean that introduces a bunch of stuff.
You
don't normally get
the crisis in time timeline.
Yeah. Because they only did Days of Future Past, right?
Where you barely saw Bishop in that, but it did introduce him. But you have Bishop going back in the past to stop somebody, which in the comic book it was Gambit.
Yeah,
Gambit killed the president, but then you found out it was Mystique as Gambit who killed the president.
I actually remember that one. See, I think that all works well, and I think that if it's 2005 or whenever you said Iron Man comes out, that works if the script is tight, if Jon Favreau's there, if guys like Ike Perlmutter are still in the studio and have some creative control over what we can do and what we can't do. That all works because you have the same kind of obstacles that Iron Man had. A lot of people have no idea who Bishop is. I think even somebody like Gambit, who we all love from like 90s X-Men, we all know who Gambit is. But the public knows Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, Wonder Woman, and that's it. And Wolverine, because Claws, and Deadpool now.
Then you build the intrigue to bring it out there. That's
what I mean.
Your marketing division.
Right. Yeah, it's not. You don't get a free pass, even if you nail the clean slate and you get a new jump off point to do something.
I still think we do we focus on the villain and we have the team fight the villain. So it's based on what villain they're going up against. So you start off with the Hellfire Club. That's who you start with. Emma Frost.
That could work. Oh, dude, I just saw a casting rumor for her the other day, so maybe that's starting to heat up. I don't even remember who it was, and it wasn't Sydney Sweeney. I was bummed.
Yeah.
Damn it! What are you gonna do?
Yeah, so you have
get her in a movie quick that isn't Madam Web.
So you
bring me some Sydney. Oh wait, bring me some Sydney Sweeney, right? Oh no Hellfire Club.
No Hellfire Club.
Cape on the challenge flag late in the show today.
So we have Joseph Magneto. Don't do the Dark Phoenix. No.
He said way too close. Wait, no, way to close the Dark Phoenix or way too close to the Dark Phoenix?
No Dark Phoenix. The Hellfire Club is an underground mutant club that uses their power and influence to take over the world.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, those folks, right?
No,
is no Hellfire Club?
No, it's Emma Frost and
dude, I was thinking Magneto's the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Yeah.
But Magneto, this is the end of it. Yeah. Like that's why you have Joseph.
I was thinking of them. That's why you said Emma Frost. The Hellfire Club leads to. I mean, in every version that they did.
No, not every version. They were always like a every 4-month villain in the comic book.
Yeah, true.
So.
But I think it's hitting on something though. Like, because how many times have they done Dark Phoenix? Like 3. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need you. It's Dark Phoenix at this point.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix story is dumb because they can't do it right.
Right, but it's been done wrong enough that I'm good. Like, I don't need to see Ben Parker die again. I'm good with Batman's parents not dying again.
I don't even think you have Jean Grey part of this team. It could be that time when she's away after the Dark Phoenix saga because she does come back.
Onslaught. Mm-hmm.
Onslaught would be awesome, but Onslaught you got to build to. You got that's all mutant fight.
But this is the problem, dude. I think they're an accelerated catch-up move because these phases have been so bad that they're gonna stumble on the same shit that Gunn's now stumbling over at the DCU side. Is that if they're gonna bring in somebody like Onslaught, you do have to build to that the same way we had to build to the Gauntlet, and they nailed that. You can't just open this phase of crap to close things out with Doom. There is no build, dude. I'm not afraid of this Doom. And that should have been a 5-movie build easy.
So
at least.
So what they could do, because the Fox X-Men are gone. And we've had this conversation before. You have a 5-picture buildup of the X-Men. We focus on the villains. You start off with the weak Hellfire Club and what they do with the underground mutants and Mordors. Then you move on and then you bring in Mr. Sinister with his plan.
I've been waiting for that for forever.
And
you know that.
You have the end credits of the first one as the pitch for Mr. Sinister and his corporation.
In his corp,
Then Mr. Sinister moves on, and then you move on to the first of the 4 Horsemen.
You
have 2 of those, and then you have the Archangel arc, where Angel becomes Archangel, and the island of I forgot the name of the island where they go. No, it starts with an M. But then you go, and that leads to Apocalypse.
Yeah, and you're talking about a perfect build. Then
from Apocalypse, you end with Juggernaut flying in, and you see him just whipped up, and then they look at him, and he goes, Onslaught. And then you go into Onslaught, because you already at Joseph, so Professor X already has the seed of Onslaught in him. So you can go straight into it. You have Xavier not in the end where they're fighting Apocalypse. He's off recovering somewhere. And then you have Onslaught. And then you can lead into who is Onslaught. And that could be your next arc of it, is who is Onslaught. And then have Onslaught slowly start taking out the other mutant teams like X Factor, X Force, New Mutants, whoever you want to bring at them. And then you have the final all-out battle where they kill Xavier.
Dude, you're talking about a multi-picture thing that sounds exactly like phase 1, 2, and 3 to me, that had like a 15-picture plan that they nailed mostly along the way to get you that kind of cathartic ending that you got, to get you the darkest Dark Night of the Soul ever in Infinity War, right? And then the ultimate catharsis of the Portals moment. Endgame was not a great movie. Let's be honest, right? Endgame had a banger 20-minute sequence that really popped off when Cap was the last man standing and refused to stay down. That's the only thing people like about Endgame, is that sequence. He picks up the hammer, he tightens the shield, the Black Panther shows up with everybody, and the fucking good guys whoop that ass. Everybody loved that. That's fine. So the buildup you're talking about sounds reminiscent of that whole plan that got us to that moment. But again, the problem here is I don't trust that studio to get a third of the movies that you just said correct, number one. And number two, I don't think they have the financial stones to have the patience necessary to follow that kind of roadmap anymore. Because these assholes still think it's easy money. They still think that if you just roll out the phrase Captain America, it means $800 million box office. And it doesn't. It does not. It has not for a while. Superman just taught DCU that. You know, not that the Fantastic Four were super bankable, but like, did they not learn that same lesson, old man, on that one? Like, it's not automatic bank, and you can't give us Thor Dark World and make your $600 million on your $140 million budget anymore. These assholes can't make a movie for $140 million. Dude, what do you think Doomsday is going to cost? We talked about that, right? The salaries on that movie have to be $200 million because RDJ's got $100 million of it by himself. Chris Evans isn't showing up on Goodwill. Chris Hemsworth isn't doing a pro bono.
Yeah,
like these dudes are getting paid.
So first off, to fix their problem, they dial 1-800-CALL-US.
It's on the screen. Dial the number.
I would gladly quit my job tomorrow and take this whole project right there, and I'll carry it to the finish line.
There you go. Put him in, coach.
Two, I would need $2.2 billion to finish my whole 2-phase cycle.
I mean, you were talking about 12 movies. So I think that's fair. You're talking about $200 million a movie, dude. That's fair. The problem is these clowns can't get this done for less than $3.25 on fucking Thunderbolts. Which again, when I look back at the Thunderbolts, where were all the special effects in Thunderbolts? Why did that movie cost what it cost? You know, like it's ridiculous that they can't get these done. And meanwhile, while they're screwing around on that, not that I want to go too much later because we're already up like an hour and a half. Dude, the king is good. He's full of self-sacrifice, full of humility. Meanwhile, while they're doing that, they're not doing Blade. They're not doing Ghost Rider. They're not doing Midnight Suns and things that they should hypothetically be able to get done. But it's where, when, where is it? Stop telling me it's happening and make it happen.
It just got put back on the docket.
Oh, okay. All right, but Blade's been on the docket since like 18. And that's my point. Like, these are movies you should be able to make for $80-90 million and crush the box office.
It's what I do, man. It's what I do.
I'm here to give. Yeah.
I'm just a giver.
It's what he does.
So the projected budget for Doomsday has been set out. What do you think it is?
Okay, for Doomsday or for Doomsday and Secret? Okay, so just the one movie.
Just the one movie, Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
Production budget.
I'm going to say they're going to publicly admit to a production budget of just under $300 million.
A bill.
Then they're boned. It's
one
over.
Bill.
It's over. Because that, as we know, as everybody, this isn't even like inside scoop shit anymore. Even we know that counts for none of the mega marketing that they're going to do. So it's actually $1.5 billion, right? If you assholes that attention Marvel, call the 800 number, Kingsy, put it back on the screen. There's
1-800-CALL-US.
Thank you. There's no shot your movie makes $1.5 billion. It'll be lucky to hit 850 mil. I'll say it now because I think you're up against all the same problems that you've been up against in the last phase. People's goodwill is done. People don't have as much money. People aren't doing the homework to go see this shit. People, honest to God, are not interested in seeing Kate Bishop, Young Avenger. People are not interested in seeing She-Hulk, who I heard just got added to this fucking cast.
No,
nobody
wants.
Did she not? Was that a rumor?
That's false.
Was
rumors.
that okay? Thank
that's
God.
Fake news.
She
that
doesn't need to do
satire.
Okay, doesn't need to do it. This movie cannot and will not hit $1.5 billion box office. It cannot.
They said in a statement they are prepared to lose $700 million on this to get it done.
Dude, how is that dude? Who's in charge of that fucking accounting office that signed off on that? Where do you make that money back?
So when it comes to that is
DVDs.
No, they don't.
I know.
They don't make the money back. They make it back, but there's so much. They're so in the black when it comes to their superhero movies that they have that they are
black from when? From 10 years ago?
From all of that money they've made before. They haven't spent all of it.
Dude, every time they make a Captain Falcon Brave New World and lose 500 million, they're losing all that money you're talking
And they write it off in taxes and get it back.
There's an end of that gravy train coming soon, especially when none of this is supported by merch sales, DVD sales, or VOD sales. There's a finite number of dollars they have to blow on this shit. It's coming.
They are prepared to lose 700 million on this to get it done. They want to build a spectacle.
Pape's asking how he can get a piece of the action. Dude, if you figure it out, call us, dude. You can also call the number. Actually, I'll just message you my private line. We'll figure that out. Maybe we get our own little account, Winter Wolfson accounting firm, and get in on some of that shit, dude. If they're prepared to take us, dude, you know who's prepared to take a $700 million loss? Like Jaguar. And look what happened to them. You know what I mean? We're gonna just do some wild shit. We're okay. We're gonna go off the beaten path. They sold no cars last year. You know what I mean? That's this Marvel shakeup. If they're prepared to lose $750 million to do what? Get the clean slate? I would just argue, just don't do more stupid shit. That you don't have to spend $700 billion to not do stupid shit, dude. I think you even said yourself when Doomsday got announced. What was it, a year ago? Because it was 2 Comic-Cons ago that RDJ came out with the mask.
It was our first episode.
Right. Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. That's right. It was our inaugural episode. That's right. Even you were like, this seems unusual that we're bringing him back to be not Tony Stark, and because they're still saying that. They're still saying he's Victor Von Doom. He's not dark Tony Stark.
Yeah, he is Victor Von Doom.
He's Victor Von Doom, right? And we were like, that seems kind of odd because we're always talking about why Henry Cavill was Superman, so now he can't come to Marvel and be Captain America or Wolverine or whatever because people will be confused. I think that's stupid.
That's stupid.
It's stupid, but studios think that. They don't think that Ben Affleck could be Daredevil and then 15 years later be fucking Batman. You know what I mean? It's a studio.
He's about to be Batman. He's the lead runner to be Batman in the DC studios.
Daredevil. Dude, is he?
Yeah.
What, to do Brave and Bold or Batman Beyond? Which one's the one with the older one? Is that Brave and the Bold?
No, it's Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond is the older one. That's right. Yeah. And that'll have Terry McGinnis as the younger one, as Azrael.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. I could see
but
that.
Yeah,
Affleck wants to come back. Good.
No, not Batfleck. I'm talking about Henry Cavill.
Oh.
He's the front runner for the new Dark Knight.
Interesting.
He's the first actor in history to play both Superman and Batman.
Now, dude, I'm down for that firsthand.
He could definitely pull it off. He has the Bruce Wayne vibes, and of course, we know what he can do in the suit.
He could body some bitches in the suit for sure. For sure. And I'd love to see him actually be able to be like the gruff type, you know what I mean? And not Big Blue Boy Scout. Not that he ever actually really got to do that either, to be honest, because he was dead for half of Justice League and he only got one movie.
Yeah.
But
and a few cameos.
Yeah, then the cameos were fucking pointless. Pape says RDJ is Doom. Maybe he'll get Kirk Lazarus makeup treatment. Says look like Tony Stark. Yeah, I mean, have we seen? I feel like we've already seen some BTS photos, and he looks like RDJ. Like I feel like I saw those. Maybe
so
I'm imagining
what
that.
They believe. One of the stories in the comic books is Doom can push his conscience into different people.
Oh,
and he did this to a Stark. So he's supposed to look like Tony, but not fully be Tony. It's Tony's brother from the 616. Because they talked about doing that. They talked about that. They also referred to like Tony as being adopted. So he might have been sent through there. And so either it was his brother or Doom put his conscience into Tony and sent him in where he's adopted into the Stark family.
I mean, they could do some wild stuff like that. But again, I say the same thing we were talking about, I think, the entire time. If you needed to bring back RDJ because you thought you had something bankable, and honestly, dude, I don't know that that's bankable. I honestly don't, right? Bring him back as Iron Man. Just fucking, the snap was the snap, but this is Tony Stark, as you know him, with a small difference from 615. Bring him back as Iron Man and just cast somebody else as Doom. Yeah, but they're not above the easy thing or the desperate thing. But you didn't need him to play any version of Doom because it is kind of like cheating. You are trying to get Tony Stark back without having Tony Stark back. You know, I don't know. The more I read about Doomsday as it gets closer, the more I'm like, I don't care that you brought back the Avengers I love for that movie. Huh? Oh God, that's stupid. They need to follow the kiss rule. Keep it simple, stupid. It works in recovery every day. Yeah, more to follow on Doomsday. I think, and this is going to be good for us, right? The closer this movie gets to whatever release date they settle on, the rumors are going to be stupid out of control.
Yeah.
Stupid out of control. It's going to be awesome as that movie gets closer to talk about.
As of right now, the release date is December 18th next year.
Yep. Because remember, no finished script, rumors of people fighting on set, which is probably commonplace. But, the not finished script thing is concerning to me because I think that just turns into mess. But I think we'll have to wait and see how that goes. All right, King, we're like an hour and a half in. I got to go get stuff ready for work tomorrow.
We're almost an hour and 40 in.
Oh my God, dude. This is what happens. So, all right, Pape, we're gonna call it here, and everybody else that's lurking around the world, all 247 million of y'all, we love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Alphakazi Gaming. If you're still listening in the background, thanks for the gifted membership. So we appreciate that, and we will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Now play my music.